My name is Porfirio Gutierrez. I am a Zapotec textile artist, dyer, and weaver. We are in Chinati, celebrating Chinati weekend during the exhibition of Cosmos and a Continuous Line. The two bodies of work that it's showing in this space, it represents and it mirrors not only the freedom of create and the freedom from a standardizing tradition and completely have the courage to dream and create, represents bodies of work that are framed that could communicate or could be a reference to maybe the contemporary art world. But Cosmos series, it is a type of work that continues to represent my ancestors, as this type of work, or this particular work, was a garment at one point for everyday use and for ceremonies, and then it was later was known as rugs. And these are the different layers of how the tradition has been some sort of a change, but also evolve. And for me, as an artist, not only as a weaver and dyer coming from a tradition, I think of myself as an artist finding weaving a medium for me to be able to create and share with the world. My understanding of being indigenous, to me, it is a reference to home. And when I think of home, it's the place that I grew up in, Oaxaca, Mexico, in Teotitlán del Valle. The same steps that I walk through the streets or home where I grew up, it is a reference to at least 10,000 years of continuous living, my parents, grandparents, and so forth. It's that link of continuous living in one place. When I think about the Zapotec culture, or I think about it in these contexts, I do think about the cultural value. And what that means to me, it is the worldview of the Zapotec people that includes the sacredness of nature, the sacredness of food, the land, the water, family tightness and support. It is something that I think about when it comes to value, when it comes to cultural value. It's the integrity. It is a lot of it is within my work as far as working with natural elements. It is that value from nature and how to transform nature and to create art, keeping the integrity, keeping that value, because that value comes from, not from me, it comes from my ancestors, and essentially it belongs to them and not to me. The key values that I find in the American culture, it is the understanding of more the Western world, how a vocabulary from an indigenous culture can be expanded and enriching through essentially business, communication, the use of technology, the access to the world, but also the kindness of the majority of the people that I have run myself into has embraced me maybe better than my own Mexican country. And maybe because I've spent most of my life in the United States, I truly do feel with the people that have support my work and that's around my work, it is from a genuine perspective like family. When you think about the value system, there's obviously some confliction with traditional way of living, understanding, especially in nature. I talk about the sacredness of the food. In terms of identity, I came to healing process when I had reconnected with my art practice. And through my art practice, I found also the guidance of nature and the plants. But at the same time, I also start to value of the different layers of who I am as an individual. Every time I do an introduction of my work to a public audience, I normally greet people in Zapotec first, Spanish, and then English. And I'm all those three. I never want to focus on being one or the other. I'm all those layers. And I can imagine the next generation will represent a fourth and so forth layers of information and value and enrichment.